Hello, welcome in another video in my channel. I would like to share with you guys today my starter build this league, the Affliction. This build actually I tried in the Shifting Stone, was lovely, was very fast and efficient. I reached map tier 16 within day 3 of the build with minimum amount of death. By the way, this gameplay footage is taken from R4TV. His link is in the description. If you want to pay a visit, don't forget to leave a like or sub if you feel so. This version of the build doesn't require the devouring diadem and March of the Legion as a startup. It's very tanky, lovely clear, and offers a godlike boss DPS. The acts are solely done, in my case using Spectral Helix. You can use Bone Shatter, Splitting Steel, whatever you feel so. And I also picked that kind of style because these nodes that amplify your damage with these skills, projectile and melee, is in the pathway of the build. For the thieves in Act 2, I took Alira to get that juicy, lovely resistances. For the flask, life flask, mana flask, and movement speed. And I made sure that the transition is not costly in terms of using regret orb. For the ascendancies, I did in Act 6 for the first and the second Ascendancy, going to Fortitude, and the third Ascendancy, I did it in Act 9. The full transition to Summon Raising Spirit actually happened in Act 10 before fighting Kitava, but you can do it in maps Tier 1, Tier 2, whatever you feel so. The rest of the video I'm going to show specifically how the nodes will be distributed, what kind of items you're going to carry through the acts, and also how you're going to transition to Summon Raging Spirit, what kind of jewels you're going to use, like an Abyssal Jewels for Lightning, because this build focusing on giving minion lightning damage throughout the Abyssal Jewels. Tune in for the rest of the video, and thanks for watching. So, no matter what choice are you going to pick, whether Bone Shatter, Helix, or Splitting Steel, make sure yourself getting a two-handed axe, preferably with some elemental damage. And for the thieves, you can support Alira to get these juicy resistances. For the other items, just get resistances and life. I'm using here a tabula rasa. You don't need to use a tabula rasa. We're gonna put 4 links, and we're gonna show some smooth running through the blood aqueduct. For the tree, when you start leveling up, you go directly from the champion tree, get some attack speed or get some life for your convenient. You're gonna go down here. The you're not going to get a lot of point at the beginning of the game. This node is kind of mandatory for your own sake of leeching life and mana. Depends if you're spending a lot of life, a lot of mana, you can add leech life more or leech mana more. In my case, I'm just going to stick to this one. Sometimes I get more mana leech for my own convenience. And then you're going to straightforward going up just like you're doing an SRS build. Make sure when you're using these attacks, get some projectile damage in here. So this is the same tree is going to be used within the POB that I'm going to share. You're going to take Iron Grip to get more projectile damage, and then you're going to go all the way up. Now, I think when you reach Act probably 6 or 7, maybe Act 8, you'll find yourself like getting more attack speed is way to go. But you know, when you're switching to the Summon Raging Spirit, you need a lot of regret orbs. So I kind of managed to make these both trees quite similar or close by, so you ain't gonna need a lot of regret orb in order to fix the build. Maybe 10 or 15 regret orb and you can switch to the final build. So this is like the tree looks like. I believe when you reach Act 7 or 8, maybe Act 9, and then you're going to go up all the way to the Eldritch Battery. But right now we are just showcasing what it look like as a 4-link. As I said, just a 4-link. You're gonna go for like Spectral Helix. I prefer Spectral Helix because it's quite convenient in terms of just attacking and moving. I found it pretty much straightforward with leap slam going here and there and shooting your stuff. It go like this. And then, like, yeah, you're going to find yourself clearing the axe pretty far with decent amount of damage. For the flask, you're going to focus on getting flasks of life, mana, some movement speed, based on your preferable, based on your survivability. In case you're like famous, like you're not very familiar with the projectile, you can grab maybe some bone shatter or splitting steel. I believe splitting steel is quiet also, not very like you can see like the clear is pretty good, but it requires for you to keep staying in one position. But believe it or not, in the shifting stone, actually I would love to share my character on the shifting stone, but the problem is shifting stone have already voided. I just straightforward going with spectral helix all the way until Kitava, and I switched to like the SRS summon raging the spirit all the way to go without the need of devouring diadem. And eventually I was able to like kill Kitava deathless and straight to the act until map tier 14, tier 16 within 3 days. And for the Ascendancy nodes, when you do the first lap, I believe I did first lap is like Act 6 to guarantee I have enough movement speed to finish it fast. You go for the first 2 laps, focusing on getting fortitude to get this fortification. And if you see yourself doing the 3rd lap, just focus on get inspirational. And finally, when you reach Act 10 and you're ready to fight Kitava, you have the ability to switch into Summon Raging the Spirit, or maybe you can do it after killing Kitava. It's up to you, but the things with the passive tree will go on straightforward by going up all the way to the Eldritch Battery, because you cannot sustain losing all these the mana while casting. Probably you will be able to also get some reservation because you are going to use auras from this time, like from this moment forward. I believe you get whatever you have like aura reservation efficiency. You can go down here into elemental equilibrium. You can follow, you can get the scepter, the oscillating scepter that have ele equilibrium, but you can get a scepter with fracture mod later that have some benefit to the minion damage or maximum life. You're gonna go for Mage Bane to get some spell suppression. You're gonna lose the Iron Grip. Definitely you are going to lose this one, probably you ain't gonna need it. Also, you're going to focus on getting only minion instead of you to save these passive points. If you follow the POE, it can tell you what kind of gym slots you're actually going to focus on getting some abyssal jewels with added lightning damage to the minion, added life, etc., etc. Then you're going to focus on getting some increase effects of offering, and then you're going to just take away all these leech nodes, and probably it is also better to lose this one too, because you ain't gonna need attack speed. And finally, you have some extra point. Focusing on survivability always is good. You can get some more life and get some spell suppression, and your suppression lucky also. After doing all this, probably when you reach Act 10, I believe it is like something around level 75, 70, 72, you're able to revert to this passive tree. For the skill gems, you're going to throw away this axe, get any scepter, it doesn't matter. You can get in the market some Essence of Fear to get minion damage into your scepter, or get some unique that give you some minion damage. That's all what you need. You can get like a shield that gives you minimum damage, and this base shield is energy shield. Make sure you have some good amount of energy shield to start going on. For the auras we're using right now, I'm showing you which I used just a normal boot with life and resistances, some movement speed. But later, if you follow the POB, you need a unique boot called March of the Legion. It's actually not very expensive boot, but at the beginning you can't get that because it's the first day of the league or the second day. Just get a normal boot and use the divine blessing support, and instead of, you know, getting the March of the Legion, which transform your aura into a buff-like thing that lasts for a couple seconds. For the other auras, you can get some determination. Probably you can get haste, summon a skitter bot, etc., etc. For the main skill, you're going to use summon raging spirit, probably inspiration to reduce mana cost at the beginning. Later you're gonna drop it once you have some really good pool of energy shield. For the I believe the offering, you're gonna use desecrate and the spirit offering to get a boost to your minions. For the movement skill, you can get just leap slam. Right now I don't have enough sockets for the leap slam whatsoever. Yep, I do have it in here. And you can, yeah, right now I don't have color for the auras, but it goes like this. You're going to summon these bad boys, and you're going to give them some probably, yeah, it goes like this. So anytime you go into a fight, you're going to buff them with the Wrath, and because we're taking Ellie Equilibrium, we can go down to take Avatar Fire. Avatar Fire will change our damage from lightning into fire. Ellie Equilibrium, when we hit the enemies with fire damage from our smites, we're going to buff our allies with lightning damage, and we're gonna hit them with fire, making the enemy lose 25% off lightning damage, and so on. We will find like ourselves hitting as hard as we can. You can see that I'm not losing a lot of energy shield, but once you're leveling up your mana also, like once you level up your gems, your mana also are going to be depleted. But for the time being, I believe it's really strong early on. Again, we don't need the use of devouring diadem at the beginning. Later in the league, we can switch to devouring diadem. It depends on your playstyle. I'm quite happy with the build that actually deals like a lot of damage and very minimalistic investment. And whoever tells you that this build is not playable without March of the Legion, without the devouring diadem, yeah, I believe this is just not true, because I tried the build. I thought it would be like a meme build, but definitely it turns very like legit. And finally, not to make this video lengthy enough, I included 3 links in the description for 3 versions of Path of Building. The first one is the melee leveling the act, which is I use the Spectral Helix. You can use the Splitting Steel, you can use Bone Shatter, just get a two-handed axe with elemental damage or physical damage, depend on your flavor. If you use elemental damage, you can get elemental damage with attack, but if you have physical damage, high physical damage axe, you can go for chance to bleed instead of getting some elemental damage. Meanwhile, you have to focus on carrying two secondary weapons and put these gems: Wrath, Summon Raging Spirit, minion damage, also multi-strike, Volatility, and Unleash, to level them up with you with the act to guarantee a smooth transition. The other link actually is the transition link, which you're gonna do in Act 10 before fighting Kitava or after fighting Kitava. As you can see from the first POB and the second POB, they all walk in the same direction to guarantee it will not cost you enough Orb of Regret in order to transition. Also, like as I said, like Scepter, any elemental scepter that you can slam with Essence of Fear to get the increased minion damage. And after, I think later on, the first couple days, they will have trigger socketed spell and use the like socketed the trigger the socketed spell when you use a skill, which actually you're going to use Flesh Offering and Desecrate on it in order to keep buffing your minions more often and reduce the amount of button you're actually going to press. For the items, also straightforward, you're gonna go for life and resistances. You can even focus on getting chaos resistance. Maybe you can get some rings regarding your minions that give you minion resistances and minion movement speed if possible. I don't think it's hard to craft these with the essences. For the shield, also you can get the shield, which one? The fossilized shield minion give like increased damage as an implicit. Your main source of damage is these jewels that give your minion like attack speed and additional lightning damage, also to your maximum life. This is the transition. You can guarantee getting like 4 million DPS without any problem when you summon a 20 summon Raging Spirit. And the last POB is actually the final form of the starter build. Remember, it's just a final form of the starter build, which actually you're going to get March of the Legion. It's cheap boot, but it is the end game boot. Probably you get +5, +4, +3 level of some of the gems. Here you're gonna play the Smite and Wrath. Once you get March of the Legion, feel free to remove the blessing support because it already had 25 divine blessing. They can use inspiration instead of the empty socket in order to reduce the total amount of mana. For the amulet, I used the Bear Quill Toe that gives you allies, which is your minions. Damage become lucky if your minions counted as an allies. For the belt, after maybe this first week, people going to farm Darkness Enthroned, get yourself one and keep hunting for these jewels that give you life, minion attack speed, and additional lightning to attack. In terms of using the scepter, I use like this one is multi-crafted scepter because this is the end. That probably gonna cost you like 2 divines and 1 essence, and probably some service craft from the TFT to get the trigger socketed gems with the cooldown. If you get the oscillating scepter or the stabilizing scepter, you have to remove the elemental equilibrium node, but in terms that scepter is not available anymore, you can just put LA equilibrium. That will help you reduce enemy lightning resistance because you're using the avatar fire. You only hit the smite, you're gonna hit them with fire damage, then it will get exposure to other elements. So that's it for the build. I'm gonna keep keeping you all tuned for the first week of the build because this will be my starter build. If you have any question, you can ask them in the comment section. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening. Leave a like, subscribe if you feel so, and I wish you enjoy this new league as much as I do. Stay safe, everyone, and goodbye.